This is Jamisha Ross. I am back today to talk about creating your own business plan, creating your business plan for your existing business or a business that's still an idea, but will be a business soon. So I'm Jamisha Ross, and I am a coach, author, and inventor, and I'll have some information about how we can connect at the end. But let's jump right into it. So this first slide here is about the business plan component. So you have the executive summary, the company description, your products or services that you are offering to your customers, your marketing plan, operating plan, management and organization of your company, personal financial statements, your startup costs, financial plan, and your appendices. So we're going to go through each of these components. I'm going to try to make it as brief as possible. Again, you can always reach out to me directly for more details, or you can join one of my online courses and you will get more details on how to get from A to B, how to get from just thinking about starting a business to starting a business. So let's talk about the executive summary real quick. The overall review of your business plan is going to be in your executive summary. You want to do this last, and you want it to be brief. So it needs to be less than 2 pages. But you'll see how all the components come together. You just want to kind of skip over this in the beginning because you're going to do it last. The company description. The company description section should tell the reader of your business plan who you are as a company. What's your mission and vision as a company? What are your company goals and objectives? Like, who are you as a company? The next section should be about your products and services. This needs to be detailed. This probably is probably one of the more important sections of a business plan. What I did for this presentation is I kind of used one of my old business plans for a uniform and medical supply company or a store that I was going to open up. It was going to be a retail store. And so that section of the business plan was very detailed because, as you can imagine, all of the medical supplies that would be in a medical supply store had to be listed. And then I was going to, as the next topic here on this slide, I was going to have a phased rollout of those medical supplies based on their categories. So it was a very detailed section about what supplies I was going to have in the store, what kind of uniforms I was going to have in the store, and then I phased out those categories of supplies. And so that was also detailed in this section. What features I had in this particular business plan, I was going to do a monthly education spotlight for different topics each month, and then the benefits of those products and services. The next section, your marketing plan. This is where you're going to find all of the research that you have completed on the market. And I do advise you to use your library because the library has subscriptions to these databases that cost thousands of dollars, but you can access those for free if you have a library card. And if you, it's so much information that you might actually have to get the librarian to help you sort through it. And some librarians charge you a fee to do that. But if you don't have the money, you can just do it yourself. And if you do have the money, you just go and say, hey, I need all the research on this industry. And they'll have it waiting for you to come pick up or send it to you. You want to put information about your competitors in there, your target market. Who are you targeting? And you want to be very detailed about who you are. Like, you want to drill this down to a person where you know exactly where they are during the day, what they're doing, what interests they have, when they're going to be buying things, where they live. You want to be very detailed about your market or target market. What market share will you have, and what, based on what you find in your research, what is the target, what is the growth of that market? Are there barriers to entry in the market that you're going to be doing business in? Do a competitive analysis of all your competitors and yourself. What are your strengths, weaknesses? What is done very well? What's done poorly? What's your market strategy? And then, very important part of your marketing plan is, what is your budget? The next section of your business plan is the operational plan. What do your daily operations look like? What details about your location need to be in the plan? How will people access you? Will they come in? Will they order online and you ship it out? What type of inventory will you have? Who are you going to have as suppliers? For me, I wanted to have at least 3 suppliers for the medical supplies and at least 3 suppliers for the uniform, so that I will be more resilient if something happened to a certain supplier. And then what if you're going to offer credit, what would your credit policies be? The next section needs to be on your organization and management. So you need to put an org chart in there. And for me, I was the owner. I had a manager that was going to do daily operations. I was going to not be involved in the daily operations of the store. And then I also had salespeople that would specialize in the medical supplies and in the uniforms. And then I was going to offer embroidery, so there was going to be someone to do the embroidery. It was a very detailed org chart, so you knew looking at it who was responsible for what and who reported to who and who was going to be responsible for what. But outside of the org chart, I also had professional support. I had an attorney, I had a business coach that was my mentor. I had someone that would be as a consultant with dealing with Medicare reimbursement. I had someone for the finance. So what type of professional support will you have outside of the company if you don't have those that have that expertise inside the company? The next section needs to be on your personal financial statement, and each owner needs to have their personal financial statement in the business plan. I was going to be the sole owner, so my financial statement was there, and your financial statement will have your net worth as well. What startup costs? Startup costs is the next section, and this section should be at the top or at the beginning of the business plan, but it's not, because you have to get all that foundation before you get to actually opening the doors. But your startup costs are going to include everything that it takes to open the doors. So what that means is there going to be a lease, or do you already own the building where you'll be operating out of? Will there be build out costs? Will you have to get the store ready, get the location ready for what type of store you're going to have? Are you going to have a restaurant? You need to get ready to be a restaurant. What type of things will need to take place financially for you to open the doors? How much inventory do you have? How many people are you going to need to hire? So all the things that you need to do before you can open the doors. That may even include business licenses. Like what will you have to pay annually for operating the type of business that you have? The next section needs to be all of that, your financial plan. And what is recommended is that you have a 12-month projection of sales, and you break that down by month. But then after the first year, you go into annual projections. So it'll just be year 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then you also want to add to this section your break-even analysis. So at what point do you project that you will break even? You will actually make enough money to you'll make enough money to recover what you spent to open the doors. So that needs to be included also. And it also gives you an idea of how long you may be in the red before you start seeing green and actually see a profit. And the last section of your business plan is going to be your appendices. So this is going to be where you're going to put your brochures and your advertising materials, your studies that you were able to get for your research, your blueprints and plans, maps, your location details, how many single families, what's average income. For me, I needed to know who had Medicare, who didn't, how many providers were in the area, because most providers, most medical supplies that are purchased are prescribed by providers. So that was all important to me. Magazines or articles. So this is a list of things that you could have in your appendices of your business plan. And the last thing I want to say is just thank you for watching this video. Please remember to like and subscribe. Follow me on Facebook and Instagram. If you choose to, leave me comments so that I'll know what else you want to see in the future. But the next video that I'm planning on doing is on business model. So this is a business plan, but you also need to look at creating a business model. So that'll be next. Let's see, my website, JamishaRossRN.com. And again, thank you.